Hello, my name is Aaron and this is Michael. Welcome to Auto E-Clinic Shop Talk. What we want to talk about today is we want to review and recap what we done. We had a 1999 Toyota Camry, 2.2 4-cylinder, come in with a P0340 code. Explain that one, Mike.
The P0340 was a camshaft position sensor code, indicating that we had an actual problem with the camshaft position sensor, a circuitry or wiring problem, or an actual PCM or engine computer problem. It could also be an actual mechanical timing belt issue. Now, we back probed the sensor itself and we read frequency. We used a lab scope, Aaron, but you can also use a multimeter if it reads frequency. Now, reading frequency was key to this because that's how the computer knows where the timing's at for the camshafts and to make sure it's working properly. So, depending on what you have access to, we used a lab scope. When we saw our reading, it was a nice, pretty clean reading off the camshaft. So we know the sensor was good, we know the wiring was good, we know the reluctor wheel on the camshaft gear was good. So that told us a lot of information right there. Now with that information right there, we didn't unneededly replace a sensor that didn't need to be replaced, right, Aaron?
That's right, yeah. Usually get a code check, say, oh well, you know, it's a camshaft position sensor code. Oh, well, give me one of them, I'll put it on it. In this particular case, it would not fix the car because the sensor tested okay.
Correct. The sensor, the wiring, and the PCM all tested okay. What's a sensor like that run if the customer did unneededly replace this sensor? What would that have cost the customer?
Depending on your manufacturer, like on this particular vehicle here, Toyota, aftermarket would have been around 70 to 100 bucks. OEM's probably going to run around maybe 150 to 250 range.
Knowing Toyota, easy 200 bucks.
Yeah, most definitely.
But, and then on my end, of course, installing the part, plus diagnostics, if the garage didn't know what they were doing and they just installed a sensor without testing it properly, that could have cost the customer $300–400 for something that wouldn't have fixed the car.
Exactly. Then you'd have been in the same boat you were to begin with.
And short on money and pretty short on your temper too, I bet.
And your car wouldn't be fixed.
So in this case, we had a really cool diagnostics on this because we proved that the sensor was good, the circuitry was good, and the PCM was good. At this point, we have to go in to mechanical side of it. And anytime you go into mechanical side of it and you don't have any good records of when the timing belt was replaced, go ahead and plan on replacing the timing belt. If you're a garage, go ahead and sell it to the customer. If you're the customer, go ahead and plan on replacing the timing belt and the water pump and the timing belt tensioner pulley and idler pulley. Because those components, they wear. If you're in there anyway, go ahead and replace them. That way you know you got another 60 or 100,000 miles on the new part.
Cool thing about that, Mike, is they have a kit. A lot of your aftermarket companies and some OEMs will come with your belt, tensioner, pulley, water pump, whatever is necessary to change it and to change while you're in there.
Well, I know aftermarket companies do, but I had no idea that OEMs were actually making a kit. Now, does the kit come with the belt, the pulleys, the tensioner, and the water pump?
Usually not the water pump. That's something you want to make sure and check on.
You know, it's something I always recommend the customer replace. You know, you look at maybe another half an hour of actual labor time there and the cost of the water pump, but it's a whole lot better than tearing the whole assembly down and then doing it again. So that's your best bet. Replace it all together at one time. It's going to be a little more money up front, but you're going to save a lot of money on the back end.
Yeah, and remember, like Mike said earlier, you don't really have to have a, scope like we did in this instance.
A lab scope is not cheap, okay? But you can pick up a multimeter that will read frequency at a decent price. I know Fluke is going to want about 400 bucks for one of theirs. So I'd go a little cheaper. Name brand to me really doesn't matter all that much as long as it's somewhat accurate and you can get a frequency reading, because frequency in this was key. Yeah,
so that way you can't say, well, these guys have got all these fancy tools and garage and everything, we can't do that. Yeah, you can do a repair like this without having some of the high expensive tools.
But if you do take it to a garage, you're going to be a lot more informed, and you're going to ask the garage, hey, did you actually check the frequency on that cam sensor? That way you know they're actually doing their job diagnosing, because you don't want to pay for parts you don't need. You open up a can of worms there, because if you're replacing parts you don't need, it just causes a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of money wasted.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. Well, we'd like to thank you for watching Auto E-Clinic. Check us out on Facebook, like our page. Check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. That way you'll keep up with the most up-to-date videos that we put out for you. Also, check us out on Twitter, like us there. We usually tweet out or put on Facebook our daily pictures, or we try to.
We try to. And get back with us, any questions, comments, or concerns you have related to this video or any video. We'll try to get to you in a timely response.
Exactly. Our email is autoeclinic@gmail.com. You can check us out on our website. It has a Contact Us page, or on any of our social sites.
Great. Thanks. And remember, kittens are awesome. What?